What's up, the squad? Back with another video. Y'all see this household now. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Before we get in this video, definitely want to say I appreciate y'all and I thank y'all so much for everything that y'all do. And happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays, One thing about it though, I do want to say, sending, prayers out. Not even thinking earlier. Definitely sending prayers out, to the two troops. There were reports that, they didn't survive, but it was reports, here that I'm going to show you. Benny Johnson, post FBI Director Cash Patel reports the National Guard troops who were, shot in D.C. are in critical condition in the hospital. It is sad, and prayers go out to the families. It definitely is sad, right before Thanksgiving, right before Christmas, and regardless, not having a holiday or anything, regardless of any of that, it's still a sad situation, regardless of what day it is. Let's check it out right here.
Please send your prayers to those brave warriors who are in critical condition and their families. They are here serving our country. They are here protecting everyday Americans and citizens around the world in our nation's capital. They are the heroes of this day, and we must remember them on this day and every day, and their families and the sacrifice they have made. I will now turn it over to Chief Carroll of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you.
Definitely sad. Definitely sad. Do you have it here? A National Guard soldier has reportedly been shot outside of the White House. Condition is unknown. There's actually two. Says here Democrats like AOC and Jasmine Crockett, Chuck Schumer, are wholly to blame, for all this violence against Americans. And I truly feel as if it is. You have so much of people, inciting violence, and it's definitely sad. Truly sad. I truly don't get it. I truly don't get it at all. Definitely sad situation. Definitely sad situation. Got it here. Another post on Benny Johnson. CNN compared National Guard troops to Nazis. It's definitely sad that they're doing this. Definitely sad. It truly is insane to me. I seen a post. I think it was. I want to make sure I got this name right. And I've actually reported and actually looked more into Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton actually reported and blamed President Trump for this, and I just get so tired about this, that these individuals sit there and blame President Trump administration, and Trump supporters even, and they're the ones that's constantly inciting this violence. Check it out.
Actually, what the president is doing through the Secretary of Defense is creating units, official military units, to quite frankly watch the American people. And that's the thing that is absolutely abhorrent. It reminds me so much of what happened in Germany in the 1930s.
Sad, definitely sad that they're constantly putting this out there as if this is what it is, and it just goes to show you on how much crime it is, and it's showing you why there's a need for National Guard and agents in these horrible cities. It's definitely sad. Not only CNN, this is ABC blaming President Trump, immigration policies, and his stance on Israel and Hamas for the reason military and law enforcement are the targets. Check it out.
Or a focus will turn to whether these guardsmen were specifically targeted. If that's the case, it would fit with what we've been hearing from law enforcement officials for a number of months now, that some political flashpoints in the country, whether that's immigration policies by the administration, the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict, even amid a tenuous ceasefire, those kinds of flashpoints have made people in uniform, be they military, law enforcement, government officials, people in uniform, have increasingly been targets, and that is going to be one focus of the investigation going forward, Kira.
Definitely sad that they're constantly doing this, and saying things of this sort, and blaming President Trump. It's literally going to show you on why President Trump has the policies and doing what he's doing, because of the messed up things going around. Definitely sad situation. This is AOC literally on MSNBC. Basically, says here that vomiting her word salad as she's powerless to stop National Guard from going into Democrat-led cities to help deport illegals and stop violent crime. I'm telling y'all, it's definitely sad. Check it out.
Protecting people is too important a task for us to give up before anything even starts. So they may want to send people in.
I apologize for the sound. I don't know what's going on.
Before anything even starts. So
it might actually be this MSNBC clip, so I apologize.
We're seeing this here in Washington, D.C. It is an insult. Donald Trump is insulting the service members of this country by putting them on these silly tasks that they themselves do not want to be enforcing. And so we have to understand that standing up matters, that our voice matters, to not give in to this cynicism, because that is what they rely on in order to perpetuate this idea that they are that they have total immunity from consequence. They will experience the consequences of this, but we have to be the consequence, which is why we have to stand tall right now alongside everyday Americans who want us to be standing up right now as well.
This is sickening. It's truly sickening. And I'm not one to, always point fingers, and stuff like that, but they're truly to blame for this. I definitely say coming from me, and I know, people have a different, standpoint on this and how they feel, but me truly being honest, this is, I literally posted a video not too long ago, and I put out, AOC literally telling the U.S. military to disobey official orders from their superiors, including President Trump. Check it out.
To be honest, the president's remarks I think, indicate a level of instability. It's not just shocking, it's not just offensive, it's bizarre, it is erratic, it's volatile, and I think it indicates a mental state that we should all be questioning right now, whether that's emotional, mental, what have you. It is not normal to make these accusations. It is not normal to invoke these kinds of threats of violence. And it's also not normal to also dramatically misquote, as Carolyn Leavitt was doing, what these members of Congress said. They made a very clear message to U.S. service members, which is that you do not have to obey an illegal order. And I think that's an important message to reiterate, because this administration seems to be increasingly trying to go down that path. And for President Trump to respond so strongly with threats of accusations of sedition and threats of violence, I think indicates a nerve that was hit that I think it has been responded to in a completely inappropriate way.
They're doing everything they can to basically put this bad name on President Trump. And I'm so glad and thankful that we have people like myself even that put out, the information and, more so of not even exposing, but just telling the truth, about a lot that's going on when it comes to individuals like AOC. It's truly sad that they're doing this. I mean, you've had multiple people. You've even had, Governor Pritzker, even, and saying different things and saying slick things. And we see who's to blame for a lot of this happening. We truly do. This is more from Kash Patel on, more information and really about, this sad tragedy. Check it out.
Hang on. I would just like to add, the reason that this suspect is in custody is because of the bravery of the men and women of the National Guard who responded due to their extensive training to secure American lives today. There was not any further injury and any further shootings. We should highlight the fact that the men and women of law enforcement, the interagency, the Department of War, and the National Guard executed their training with great precision today and prevented an even greater tragedy from befalling us. These National Guardsmen are heroes, and we must pray for their safety and their speedy recovery. And as the chief said, we are in the preliminary stages of this investigation. We will run down every single lead, every piece of evidence. This is the power of the U.S. government at its best at the state, local, and federal level. That is why this interagency group is standing behind us to assure America and the world that we will continue to keep D.C. safe. And thankfully, we have Metropolitan Police Department, the National Guardsmen, and federal agents, and the Department of Justice and the Attorney General willing to prosecute the mission to keep Americans safe. And President Trump has rightly stated that this heinous act will be investigated, and he has thanked the National Guardsmen and women and the men and women of law enforcement.
Thank you.
Definitely, and that's something that I feel like a lot of people truly need to hear. They are heroes, and I'm truly glad, that they actually caught the suspect, who did this. I'm not going to go too much into the information about the suspect until I have, obviously more of the information, because it's definitely important. But you do have here another post from Benny Johnson breaking. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth announces 500 additional National Guardsmen are being deployed to Washington, D.C. Check it out right here.
Very productive meetings, but I want to start by saying after those meetings, myself and my team were notified that 2 National Guardsmen have been shot in Washington, D.C., critically wounded. The shooter shot in a cowardly, dastardly act targeting the best of America.
Yeah.
Heroes willing to serve in Washington, D.C., serve for people they don't know and they've never met because they love their country and their capital and their community. They were willing to do dangerous things others were not because they love their fellow Americans. Someone decided to turn that into targeting National Guardsmen. That will only stiffen our resolve. We will never back down. We will secure our capital. We will secure our cities. In fact, this happened just steps away from the White House. It will not stand. And that's why President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army to the National Guard, to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C.
It's amazing.
This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful. The drop in crime has been historic. The increase in safety and security has been historic. But if criminals want to conduct things like this, violence against America's best, we will never back down. President Trump will never back down. That's why the American people elected him. America and our warriors, our National Guardsmen, are strong. And so we're following this very closely. We're getting information rapidly. And I mentioned the faith of this country, the Christian faith, the prayers. I would ask for prayers for our National Guardsmen.
Excuse me, Mr. P.
Appeals to heaven for our National Guardsmen, for their families, on bended knee as a War Department, as a nation.
Excuse me,
we will never back down.
Excuse
Nobody think about them right now.
Venezuela.
One thing about it, and I know this is obviously not, as far as not, I wanted to let this clip play, but as far as, him, Pete Hegseth, I speak of, given that, that thought, that prayer to, the families, the National Guardsmen, I find it highly disrespectful that somebody is literally saying Venezuela or wherever she's from and interrupting him. Like, this is the stuff that I'm talking about here. It's respecting. And I truly feel like people have lost that in this world, is having that respect. If you see him talking, especially something like this, don't interrupt. I find it completely insane.
We had a couple of great productive meetings with the President and Minister of Defense here, where we are dedicated to the counter-cartel effort here. Criminality knows no boundaries, whether it's the United States of America and Washington, D.C., or it's the Caribbean and the Western Hemisphere. We are going to go after narco-terrorists. It will not stand. Our borders will be secure, whether it's the Dominican Republic or the United States of America, and we look forward to working with our partners to make it happen. President Trump believes in a clear principle: peace through strength. You get peace by being strong.
Yeah.
And if you're a narco-terrorist who wants to bring drugs to the United States of America, we will find you, we will fix you, and we will finish you, because we have all the rights in the world. We got lots of attorneys and lots of intel analysts, and we know exactly who we're targeting and why. If you're involved in that conduct, we will. It's that deadly serious because of the poison that has made its way into the American public for far too long. President Trump is serious about it. We're serious about it. And we're proud to be working with the Dominican Republic, another country very serious about ensuring that cartels don't set the agenda. We do. Thank you very much. It's been a great series of meetings. Thank you very much.
One thing about it, I'm not even gonna lie. I truly feel as if things have definitely got serious. Things have definitely got serious, and I'm glad. And things obviously already were serious, but a person doing this, I'm not. I would definitely say that I'm surprised, but in a way, I can't say I am too much because of the things that's been happening. It's sad to even say that, but I truly can't stand the fact that you have sick individuals like this. You've had, those the ICE agents, targeted. When we talk about Charlie Kirk, when we talk about all these different things, it's definitely a sad situation. And I'm thankful that President Trump is, taking the steps that's definitely needed. This is a post by President Trump said the animal that shot two National Guardsmen with both being critically wounded and now in two separate hospitals is also severely wounded. But regardless, we pay a very steep price. But we'll pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. As as President of the United States and everyone associated with the office of the presidency, I'm with you. And I truly love the simple fact that they're taking, like I said, they're taking the steps, as needed, because it's definitely a sad situation. This is just, in Washington, D.C., there's obviously some things that are been going on, in different areas. And I truly pray that nothing like this happens again. Because it's truly a sad situation, especially it being right before Thanksgiving, Christmas, at a time like this is definitely sad. But one thing about it, definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to everybody. Definitely, I'm telling y'all, I appreciate y'all so much. It definitely has been a tough year, but one thing about it, gonna continue to do my best, to get this information out, and get out the truth. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to everybody. Catch y'all next one.